Alright guys, I've been doing a lot of cleanup in my corner of the garage that I call my shop. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm making room for my new saw. And for those of you that think I haven't done any cleaning at all, you guys must be new to the channel, so welcome. But I admit, I'm the first to admit this was a complete disaster back here. I've started to make a lot of headway, and I'm going to be taking this old DIY saw apart. Alright, starting to take the saw table apart. This was custom made for my old rigid table saw. And I don't need it anyway because I've got a table stand coming with my new saw. And there are the other components, the top and each of the sections. So I'm just going to pull this apart, put it in my wood pile, and I'll probably end up reusing this stuff. Alright, got the shop nice and clean and organized, and this is what that's all about. I was able to pick up this Dewalt table saw. I got it using Amazon points, so it was super cheap. And I'm gonna unbox it and put it together. I'm not gonna put you guys through an unboxing. I know a lot of people don't like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the box and pull all the parts out, and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so I got the DWE7491RS. Alright, I got all the parts laid out here on this table. I got a couple of parts over here. Everything's labeled pretty well. Each of the sections of the saw stand, the components are labeled. However, I did have a few spare bolts and lock washers or lock nuts, so that's kind of nice that they use lock nuts on these. But don't know where those go. They were just loose in the box. But here we go. Got my cheat sheet here. So let me see how tough it is to get this thing put together. Alright guys, one thing I gotta say is the instruction manual is pretty poor. It doesn't even cover this very first step that you gotta do, which is to attach these two leg assemblies. So basically what you want to do is you want to raise these legs up. They come like this, so you need to move this down and then move the leg up. You want to do that on both sides. And then get them inserted like that, and then we'll need to attach our bolts there. So let me find the bolts, and I'll get to getting that assembled. Right, you're going to want to look for the bag label tool and frame. Comes with the screws that hold these together, and it comes with an Allen wrench and another wrench here. And my understanding is that this is a 13 millimeter. It's not marked, but that's my understanding. Okay, I don't want to cinch that down really tight yet. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is to install the axle for the wheels. This is the axle. And that goes right here. So I need to find... Okay, I've got wheel shaft, so this is what I need to attach the shaft. Okay, so you'll notice that these come with a washer and a lock nut. You don't want to put the washer on this assembly. The washer is for this end when you attach the tires. You've got two sides. You want this on the outside because that's where the washer is going to seat. That's what the other side looks like. You want that on the inside. Okay, so next you want to attach the kickstand, and that is this one with the reinforced corners. This one without the reinforced corners is your handle. So look for the bag labeled kickstand, and it'll have your 4 bolts to attach here, and it'll have your bottom plugs. So you want to insert your bottom plugs and make sure that your holes line up when you insert them. Like so. And now just take the supplied bolts and attach it back by the wheels. Okay, so the bolts used to attach the kickstand are not carriage bolts, so you're going to have to use both the Allen wrench and the 13mm wrench. Okay, I'll go ahead and put all 4 bolts in there before I tighten it down. All right, if you have your own set of metric socket wrenches, it would be a lot easier to use those. I'm using this just to prove that you can do this without tools, without your own tools anyway. It works, but you can see that this is a pretty chintzy tool. All right. Kickstand is going to want to look for the bag labeled handle. And there should be 4 bolts and nuts in here. So that was the 4 nuts and bolts that were just in there loose. That they must have fallen out of this bag somehow. So from the manual, you're going to want to take this and place it on here for your washer, and place it on the bottom 2, where the top is your handle right here. So you're going to want to leave this open. So place this over the bottom 2. You'll do that on both sides, and then it will attach down here. Okay, so at this point you're going to want to lift the stand up, and so it's resting on the wheels and the kickstand. This is, let me get you in a little closer here. So on the bottom, right here, this is where you're going to want to attach the handle. So it'll be like this. And you can see the shape of the handle where it comes like this and then goes back up. Where it goes back up, that should be pointing up and towards the center of the stand. Let me get a couple of these ready. It's a little bit tricky holding this to the handle while you're inserting the bolts. So I wasn't able to do a good job of catching that on video. Let me see if I can turn this around where you can see it. So I place this here, push the bolts through here, and then there's my my lock nuts. So I'll go ahead and get that side tightened down. Not too tight, but just enough to hold it in place. Okay, one thing I want to point out is these aren't carriage bolts, but they do fit into these handles and they act like a carriage bolt. So that's how you know you've got the right bolts. And I also want to point out that it does use 13mm socket. I got tired of fighting with that wrench. Use a 13mm socket if you've got it. You'll save a lot of time and frustration. All right, that's all there is to putting the stand together. And I want to point out, you notice the different angle that the front legs have versus the rear legs. These legs right here, that's where you're going to be pushing your lumber in this direction. So when you place the saw on, make sure you place it in that direction, because that will make the stand that much more stable. Alright, once you have the stand built, you're pretty much done. Attaching the table saw to the stand is pretty easy. The easiest way is to place your saw either on the ground or on a table upside down, and then you can set the stand on top. And then there's just 4 bolts that you need to use to attach the saw to the stand. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to push these up from the bottom, then use a washer and the lock nut. Okay, the reason why I did it in that direction, the instructions don't really tell you. I did it that way because on the top, let's see if I can bring you in. On the top here, it's slotted so that this has some ability to move, so it's easier to get the bolts in. So I want to have the washer on top. So that's the only reason why I did that. Alright, that's pretty much all there is to putting this table saw together. Putting the stand together probably takes the most time. It's only 4 bolts that hold the saw to the stand, so that's pretty quick work. And you just flip it upright once you get that assembled. But that's it. This video is getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to wait until another video to do the tuning. But that's what we've got. I think I'm going to enjoy this saw, so stay tuned for the next video and see how I tune it up and get it ready for a first cut. Alright, talk to you guys later.